Please welcome to the stage, Eric Vaughan.
It's so great to be here. I'm super excited to be back in San Francisco. I say back because we used to live here for 12 years in the Bay Area, and we miss all the wonderful things, the beauty, the weather, the fruits and vegetables. I tell you, that's worth the journey alone. And AI and all the tech that is always happening here. I'm always excited to be back, and it's been an amazing week. How about that last session, that comment by the person on the call? I'm in the new world, he says. Was that not just a riveting moment? I really found that incredible, because that is where we are. We're in a new world for the first time in a very long time. And you know, it's exciting to be part of a frontier. So I'm Eric Vaughan. I'm the CEO of IgniteTech. And IgniteTech is an enterprise software company. And I'm going to spend my time taking you on a bit of a journey to help you understand who IgniteTech is, what we do, and what we've done, because I think what we've done is super exciting. So first of all, IgniteTech is an enterprise software company. We're 30 years old. We're unlike most companies that are anywhere on this floor. We're an enterprise software company, been around 30 years. Our parent company is an M&A engine. We are a family office, not a private equity firm. We buy, we don't sell. We keep everything that we buy. And we build this wonderful portfolio of software for customers in a horizontal way. So we're not in any vertical at all. We serve major industry all over the world, very global. There's over 5,000 customers. We have over 40 products that produce about 60 different solutions. We've always been profitable. We have zero debt. These are all things you don't normally hear in Silicon Valley. I know, we have profit, no debt, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's it. So we are an enterprise software company, and I think we stand alone. I think that's what makes this conversation a unique conversation, because we've got, again, products across a full range of products, but we needed to create an AI startup. We suddenly realized that we needed to be not an enterprise software company, not a company that's been in business for 30 years, doing the same things we always do, the way we always do them, because the world changed under our feet. And I'm not quite sure that it's, you know, an 8-minute startup, that kind of thing. We are hearing a lot about solopreneurs right now. But I submit to you that you're going to find over the next year or so, and I won't go any further than that the companies like IgniteTech, who have business serving businesses that can harness the AI technology, are the ones to bet on. I really think that's true. And I think this is true. This is the CEO of a company called Abacus. She was a former Googler, been do ready. And she talked about how her interactions with Fortune 500 companies are sloth-like, like people aren't moving, like they're going so slow. And she predicts that they're going to get bowled over. And I believe that 100% do. That if you do not transform your company materially right now, that you will get run over. That's the way we felt about the company. And the reason why is it's an existential threat. It's absolutely an existential threat. It's going to change so many things, but not quite the existential threat that we've seen before.
10 years ago today, the artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles. This is a fight for our very existence.
Sergeant Taylor, we are this close to winning the war. But the AI are developing a super weapon. Retrieve it, or they win.
Processing at 60 teraflops a second.
Sir, it should take less than a minute to find the virus and kill it.
And Skynet said, oh, you've asked me to destroy myself. You are the enemy. You must be destroyed. That's how Terminator actually goes.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
Holy God. We've been scared by this stuff for decades. Anybody have any idea when that last movie was made that you just watched? That's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Take a guess. Come on, somebody make a guess. Sorry? The 70s. Okay, close. 1968. For 50 years, we've been telling people AI are coming for us. They're coming for us. They're coming for us. And oh my God, they're here. They're like here now. So what do we do? So when I talked about an existential threat, folks, I wasn't talking about this because I've got a different point of view. My title of my talk is Humans in AI. I have a lot of faith in us. And I want to talk about this existential threat. It's failure. It's a failure of your company. It's a failure in your job. It's a failure of your product. You suddenly find out you're not competitive in the industry you're in because somebody else paid attention to this. And failure shouldn't be an option for anybody here. Like, tell the story about Kodak that is taught in business schools today. This venerable company, over 120 years old, owned the film industry completely, manufacturers of film. They were one of the early pioneers of digital photography. Now they're on the trash heap, filed bankruptcy in 2012, for heaven's sakes, because they were afraid to cannibalize their business. So you can't be afraid of this stuff. It's coming. You've got to adapt. That's it. So that's why, I talk a lot about this. The genie's out of the bottle, folks. And when genies come out of the bottle, they don't like to go back in. And I'm here to tell you this bottle's gone. Like, that genie's never going back. And why? In October of 2022, in this little valley just down the street from here, we had ChatGPT burst on the scene. This is an astounding chart. This is 5 million users in 5 days. And why? AI wasn't new. AI had been around since 1968. We've been scaring people about it at least that long, right? Because it suddenly made it available to everybody. It was suddenly there. It was totally there, just like Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA founder, who always wears a black leather jacket, seemingly the same one. I think he sleeps in it, for heaven's sakes. Absolutely said this, and I believe him, and I've repeated it ever since. This is the iPhone moment for AI. It's the moment where it crossed from this tech crowd that we all know and love and live inside of, to everybody, 8-year-olds, 80-year-olds, the guy on the phone that said, I've never talked to an AI. That's really amazing, in the presentation just before me. And so you've got to change your company, and I changed mine. I'm taking you on my journey. IgniteTech, my venerable software company, 3 decades old, thousands of customers around the world, 40 products. We needed to create a completely different environment. I said an AI startup, and when we did, this was a culture shift, and it is an incredible culture shift. And you have to do it in a way where you bring everybody together and you say, we're going to do this, we can do this, it's going to be incredible, you're going to love it. We're teaching you, we're giving you a gift, we're going to let you learn. In our case, we funded education. We funded every tool you could look at. It was just buy it, reimburse, doesn't matter. We brought in industry experts as they're evolving right now. A guy named Ethan Malik, for example, brought him in to talk to the company and do a workshop with us. We sent people to prompt engineering school, because that was a thing for quite some time, right? Everything possible to get people going, but still, this is the point of view, right? We're trying to take our people and make them, the guy on the left, it's the way he used to come to work and do things every day. The guy on the right's AI enabled. I mean, he's got like a tool belt that he puts on every morning when he comes to work, and he like whips out an LLM and a chatbot here and, Cursor to write code, and, now we're doing it with Claude and Replit and Vercel. We're having all kinds of fun, right? That's our aim. That's what we were after. Because if you don't, this happens to your company. Everybody's got to be in the same boat, rowing the same direction. And this has the opportunity to splinter your company. Some of these people not only are not in the same boat, they're not even rowing. One guy's on his phone, for heaven's sakes. Yeah, your company is going to fail if you don't seek this out and find it. That's what we believed, and we believed it to our core. Because you also have some people in the org that look like this. They're like, yeah, that whole Gen AI thing, that's just a fad. Anybody hear that yet? Yeah, absolutely. I hear it. Yeah. This Gen AI thing, is this something I should think about? Yes, it's absolutely something you should think about and seize every moment you can. I mean, I think that's it. It's not going away. Remember, it's not. And you end up with a lot of people in your org that look a little bit like this. Guy on the left looks like the guy on the right. He's got an AI hat on, but not really, right? And so at IgniteTech, we had to be really dramatic about this, and we spent a year. We started in early 2023 doing all the things I just talked about, and we did this to transform our company in a meaningful way so we could end up where we wanted to go, which was essentially an AI startup inside of an enterprise software company, and this is the way it ended. Okay, over 5 quarters, we replaced 80% of our people. I'm not a proud of this. I'm not happy about it. And it's not what I thought when we started that we would have ended up this way. But you get the people that refuse, you get the people that try but not really, you get the people that don't have the aptitude and won't. And so we had to change the game completely. So 80% of my people are new. That's why I said we're an AI startup inside of a 30-year-old enterprise software company. And this is the difference. The difference between the AI people you hire that work and the ones that won't is the AI people believe. They believe. They say things like, well, we'll get the AI to do it. Now, the non-believers will say, AI can't do everything. Like, yes, we totally get it. They can't do 100%, can't do 90, might only do 62. But God, if it does 62, man, aren't we just leveled up? Aren't we just fantastic at this point? I mean, it's just great, right? Belief is the key. And you'll find it. You'll hear people on the meeting saying, that AI hasn't been inside that code for the last 15 years. Like, yeah, I know. That's okay. It may be a good thing, So you have a look at the code for the first time. And we are now hiring software engineers that work on software that do not know the language that the code's written in. Why do they need to? They certainly don't know the product, and they're more efficient than they've ever been. And I'm going to prove it to you here shortly. So what we set out to do was hire. We opened pipelines. We hired people all around the world. We're a global remote company. We're headquartered in Austin, Texas, but all of our people all over the world in 30 different countries. We've been global remote for over 10 years. Pandemic didn't cause that for us. We've always worked this way, and we set out to hire the best and brightest. But you notice every one of the titles is AI specialist, AI innovation specialist. Could be sales, could be marketing, could be software engineering, could be customer support, doesn't matter. The screening that took place, and I personally interviewed every single person that has come through these pipelines, is where are they in their AI journey? They don't need to be experts. They don't need to know everything, but they got to bring something. And it's not like, I'm super excited, I can't wait to learn, and I've been using ChatGPT 3.5, and we had a pretty high bar for this. And that's why we've been able to do what we've done. It's really fun. We've done some incredible things, and we've done it internally on our own efficiency. We've done it internally in terms of our processes. We have customer support teams now where the level 1 AI solved ticket rate is approaching 70%. 70% the customer gets the answer to their support question. And 70% of the time without ever having to interact with a human because of the power of the AI support system. So we've done it internally, but we're now also coming to the market with something that we think is going to change the game. And again, Bindu, I'm quoting her, she talks a lot about agents, this whole agentic technology. Here's a marketing tip. If you're talking to a layperson, don't use the phrase agentic. Like, they're totally going to like, agentic, what the heck, right? It matters. These terms we use, the words we choose, are the ones that matter to people when they're listening to you 100%. So don't scare them away with agentic, because then they say, oh, agent. What's an agent? Basically, you're just going to do your job. Just going to take your job. Like, oh, so now we're back to the fear thing, right? And they will. I'm not the first one to say it. Lots of people have said it. AI is not replacing people. AI is replacing people that won't use AI. I totally believe that. But we have a little different take at IgniteTech on this concept of agent. And this concept is not humans versus AI, which is being positioned everywhere. Lots of scary stories being told and articles being written, journalists waiting to see how this plays out. We do find efficiencies, but shouldn't that be redeployment? I mean, we've been finding efficiencies in producing things for centuries, right? Like when we went from the horse and carriage to the automobile, did people all lose their jobs? The ones that did are the ones that like, nope, totally going to just take care of the horse and carriage. That's it, totally. Yeah, but you got this car over here. Like, oh, no, horse and carriage. Everyone needs a horse and carriage. It's the same. It's absolutely the same. It's not humans versus AI. It is, again, I mentioned Ethan Malik. He published a book recently, a New York Times bestseller called Co-Intelligence, where he posits this concept of humans and AI interacting together and coexisting and supporting each other and getting things done. Yes, 100% what's going to happen. So this is our point of view, and we actually think it's not even on an equal level. We actually think we're going to be the ones to, we're the marionette masters, right? We're the ones pulling the puppet strings. We're making the AI do the things that it needs to do because you understand it, you learn it, you experiment with it. It's the most willing assistant you've ever found. Yes, sir, I'd be happy to help you with that. It apologizes if it gets things wrong, and it's just amazing, right? This is the one that we see. We see that you're going to interact with the AI and you're going to manage it. Now, I have a lot of faith in us, a lot of faith in humans. We have always figured things out. I don't think it's any different here. I do not. And so our difference is we don't see agents and we don't see avatars. A lot of people talking about avatars. We're talking about clones. How many of us have either said about ourselves or somebody else in our organization, boy, I wish there were more of me. I wish there were 3 of me. I wish there were 5 of me. I wish there were 5 of him. I can never get time on his calendar, right? Everybody says that everywhere. At a sports team, at a doctor's office, at a research lab, at an insurance company, at a bank, everybody says that. And so we first came out with this idea, AI startup, right? I took you on my employee journey first. Second was the product journey. In March of this year, I stood on a stage at another AI conference in Las Vegas, and I announced a new product for a product of ours called Jive. Jive is a product that is in use by very large customers all over the world, many brands you'd recognize, very large government organizations. One uses Jive to keep 160,000 of their Army personnel in touch. It's an employee engagement platform that enables document sharing and chats and conversations. You've all seen these, probably use it. SharePoint is analogous, that kind of thing. And so we said, well, Jive's the perfect place for this idea. And so we announced something called Jive Personas. And we're going to go out to the Jive customers, and Jive customers run both cloud and on-prem, and we're trying to get them excited about it and all this. And so I stood on the stage in March in Las Vegas and announced Jive Personas. This is me talking about it. I was very excited, and I finished the talk, and I went out in the hallway, and this man comes up and he grabs me. He says, when can I get it? Oh, my God, I need that. And I said, oh, well, what's going on? Tell me. He said, I've got over 10,000 entry-level workers who are constantly submitting tickets. They can't start their time cards, don't know how to clock out. They're just asking questions all the time. We just can't keep up. And I said, well, what about it? You'd have to move your data into Jive. He said, yeah, that's no problem. I don't care. I said, well, what do you use? He said, SharePoint. I said, okay. And I'm like, this is a weird conversation because never in the history of running software companies, I heard somebody say, oh, I'll totally throw out the competitor if you could just give me yours. Like, that's never happened. And a light bulb went off. We said, hey, wait a minute. Maybe it's not about Jive. Maybe it's about anything that we could empower with this. And so this is what I saw in that man, and I have seen that ever since that I've talked to people about our software. I see relief. I see people go, oh, my God. I would totally... They first start thinking about who would be their first MyPersona, as we're now calling it, right? Who would they make the first person they'd put up there? Like, I'll tell you, in our company, we've got a pretty good legal team, some really good attorneys. But always, we're on the phone, it's like, well, this is the way I think we should write it, but we got to get Lance. Well, okay, I've submitted a draft, but Lance has to sign off. It's like, good Lord, we're moving at the speed of one person again. Well, what if? We could have just grabbed Lance, and Lance is embodied with his knowledge, and we could meet with him in real time, right? That's the idea here. So, what about pinging, right? Pinging's for submarines. It's not for humans. You heard it here first. Take it home and use it all you want, okay? It is not for humans. We're killing people with pings. Yeah, ping me. I pinged you. Why didn't you answer? I mean, good Lord, all day long it's the same. And here's the problem, folks. Those pings are mostly repetitive. It's like, if I've already taken my PTO leave in California, can I take extra? Like, it's those kinds of basic questions over and over again. Why? Because we currently live in a culture that's been rebranded called TLDR. Like, we even came up with a name for it. It means I don't read stuff. Well, it's on the manual. It's on the document sharing site on Jive. It's like, we sent out emails. Like, yeah, I didn't read that. I just need to ask you, right? I mean, that's 100% it. We live in a TLDR culture. Like, it's really just, it's not even necessarily too long. It's really, I just didn't read it. Like, can you just tell me? We live in a ping environment, so this is what we're after. And so we morphed it. We turned Jive AI into MyPersonas. We said, wait a minute, it doesn't need to be Jive. It'll work with Jive, no problem. But what if it works with everything? Anything. Salesforce, NetSuite. Any product that's got a data store that you might want to inject that knowledge into the creation of MyPersonas. MyPersonas clones your subject matter experts, the people that you know, the people you're already familiar with, the people that you trust, right? Lance. I can get Lance right on the horn on MyPersonas and ask him the question. And I'll get to why that's important here in just a minute. So beyond that, we're having a lot of fun. So announced this thing in March, formed the AI team over the last year, brand new product, written from the ground up, completely from scratch. No line of code was written in March. We'll have it in the hands of our first customer a week from Tuesday. That appointment's set up. It's running, I'm going to show it to you. It's incredible. We're having fun with the campaign. We're really trying to help you understand twins and clones and Sims, and we're having a lot of fun with this. We've got this whole advertising campaign that's rolling out everywhere, social, our website. You know, meet Thomas Editwin. Now, it turns out Lance, I pitched him the first idea, said, yeah, we're thinking about saying, meet George Clooney. He said, oh, that's cute. And he said, yeah, I'm going to really look forward to defending you in that lawsuit. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, it doesn't say Clooney. It's not going to look like him. He said, yeah, but you're using his likeness and his image, and you can't do that just by his name. Turns out dead people are fair. You can use all the dead people you want. So I have an ad campaign with lots of dead people. Just know that, okay? Right. So it's Gen AI powered personas. The ability to take personas using Gen AI, using all the cool things. We're all running around here saying LLM and vector store and RAG and like alphabet soup. By the way, you're going to kill your customers with that stuff. I'm just warning you. Be really good at it. Be super smart. Develop the best RAG ever. But don't tell anybody. Just make it work. That's how you sell software. That's a lesson from an enterprise software company. Meet Salvatore Dali. Now, this guy, sales director, he's a little surreal in his approach to sales. No groans? No, I thought for sure I'd get a groan on that one. Okay, right, yeah. So, multimodal, you can talk, you can type, you can do all of that. Marie Antoinette, you know, she's a human resources manager. She's there to make sure you don't lose your head. Oh, boy. God, you know, and I really rehearsed these too, and I got better reaction. Okay, never mind. You know, people were drinking. I'll point that out. That's probably true. Okay, right, yeah. So, 3D representation, the avatar's the kind of thing you're expecting, the kind of thing you're looking for. My favorite, Twinston Churchill. Twinston Churchill is our chief marketing officer, and he leads our campaigns as we go on attack to sell our products. You can see where this is all going. You should enjoy this. It's going to be out there, all right? The way MyPersonas works with Jackie Robinson, who's our IT director. I'm going to stop with the jokes. You're welcome. Multilingual capabilities. How about the fact that LLMs speak multiple languages? What if your head of HR can suddenly speak Korean or Mandarin or Hindi or German or French or Italian or one of, 160 languages, I think, that most LLMs support? What if those people that you clone and made available to people all around the world with a very simple interface that I'm about to show you could speak all those languages? It's incredible. And the last one, Aretha Frank clone who sings her high praises of her company as the CEO. Okay, that's it. That's all right. And you can have as many MyPersonas as you want. Now, this is just real briefly. MyPersonas has AI that includes video, voice, and LLM. We have integrations with any number of products. First one we've got out of the box is Jive. That was very, very easy. It's API endpoints that makes it very simple to publish and make available to anybody that wants to interact with the data. The knowledge is the key. You embody this persona with knowledge that is grounded. LLM doesn't get to embellish. LLM doesn't get to override or overrule because it knows better. That's a key technology. And it is going to be available day one on-premise and cloud. And why? If you're not paying attention to this cloud AI companies out there, you need to be. Here's a statistic. 61% in 2025 shows data and software still running in non-cloud data centers. Further, Broadcom CEO Hock Tan just last week said this, that 83% of enterprises plan to move workloads back to private cloud or private data centers because of the concern of AI and AI data and AI data access. So all of this open API, kind of approach only is a downside if that's your plan in business, right? Yeah, this is what he articulated. The future of enterprise is private. So, MyPersonas. Very easy to set up. Now I'm going to take you straight to the demo. So this is live running software, folks. This is not some canned demo that we put together for the show. So I know you'll understand if the demo gods decide to get involved with it, and you'll be forgiven if so. So yeah, it's our live MyPersonas running on our AWS instance. This brings us to the login page. You can log in with different methods of authentication. It could be Microsoft Active Directory. It could be MyPersonas authentication that's been set up.
I'm going to use Google authentication to take me into MyPersonas because that's already set up. And this takes you to the dashboard of the MyPersonas management console. This is where your admin who is setting up the system or administering the system would create the different MyPersonas of your subject matter experts, your SMEs. In this dialog here, create a new MyPersona. As you just walk somebody through a few steps where they upload a video of themselves and then upload an audio sample of their voice. And that's how we create the likeness of the SME that is familiar to your organization or to your customers or any of your stakeholders. And this is one of the key differentiators between MyPersonas and the other digital avatar products that are starting to pop up, in that we are cloning the people that are already familiar to your org and to your people, which multiplies their availability and gives them the kind of benefit of having that kind of capability where information is available 24/7. And this is also where you add the knowledge to the MyPersona. The knowledge is a very important part. It's what grounds the MyPersona in the information that you want to make available through the clone, through the MyPersona. And I can show you what that looks like. I've got MyPersona set up here. I'll click on Manage Knowledge, and this takes you in and shows you the 3 different categories of information that currently we support to be able to add to the MyPersona's knowledge. So the first are files. We support over 50 different file types. You can upload those files to the knowledge. You can then click on integration as another option. If you click here, this populates any integrations that are set up. We currently have IgniteTech's Jive employee engagement platform, which is another product that's in use by customers all over the world with tens of thousands of employees to keep their employees fully informed and sharing documents and the like. But this could be any software product. It's a very simple API setup that we provide that can integrate with off-the-shelf products or even custom developed software. That's another point. And then number 3 is what's called Q&A. Now, Q&A is a really important part of the knowledge because this is how the knowledge continues to be enriched. The human, the owner, as we often refer to it, who is connected or tethered to their digital persona that is running under MyPersonas, is used when there is a question that is asked that the current knowledge can't fulfill. There is a connection out to the human owner where they can answer the question and enhance the knowledge. And I'm going to show that here in the demo. So I'll come back to the dashboard, and now you see this little button here. It's called in UI UX terms, that's a floating action button. You can move that anywhere on the screen. This is not a web browser extension. This is actually embedded, an embedded interface in any web app or web page that's been provisioned or authorized. If you click on that, this is what the user would see. They would see the various MyPersonas that have been made available to them. So this could be different roles. This could be the HR manager. This could be the head of legal, the head of product. It could be somebody leading customer support. Whoever the organization is trying to make available these different roles and these different subject matter experts. Now, in my case, I've only got 2. Both of them are me, but we're going to focus on this one here because this is, not only am I the CEO of IgniteTech, but I am also an expert on the AI conference here. And all of us that came here this week, whether an attendee or a speaker, an exhibitor, we all probably had different questions. We peppered the people running the conference with emails and social posts and filling out forms, asking basic questions like, where's a good hotel to stay at? What's the address of the conference venue? If you're an exhibitor, what are the show floor hours? How do I order equipment for my booth? If I'm a speaker, when's my speaking slot, etc. Right? Wouldn't it have been fantastic if you had a MyPersona that you could have gone to and very simply and easily asked any of those questions? I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if I click on this, this opens up the MyPersona and starts that process. I'm going to start a new chat. Hello, I am Eric Vaughan's MyPersona. How can I help you today? Great. And so now you're interacting with the MyPersona, who's the expert on the AI conference. And I'm going to ask it a question that I absolutely had prior to this. I am a speaker at the upcoming AI conference. Will there be a confidence monitor available for speakers? When I ask that question, it's looking in the knowledge. Yes, there will be a confidence monitor available for speakers at the AI conference. This feature is designed to provide an additional layer of support for presenters during their talks. Okay, so that's helpful. That's great. It's just what I need to know, but I actually need a little bit further information. Great. Do you know if the confidence monitor will be showing speaker notes in presentation mode, which is something speakers prefer? We can keep track during our presentation of what's the next slide and the like. So it's a common question. I'm going to ask that question. It's again checking the knowledge that it has. I have contacted my owner for more information. Okay, great. So this is where the magic really starts to happen. It didn't have that answer, and so it has connected out to the human owner. I'm going to come back to that here in just a second. A couple of other things, though, I want to show you before I do is, for example, show you how multimodal works. You don't have to type everything. You can speak your question. Can you tell me what the address for the conference venue is? The conference venue is located at Pier 27 along the Embarcadero in San Francisco. Okay, that's super helpful. But I also want to show you another feature that is incredibly important, and that is your subject matter experts can now speak 160 different languages, or however many languages that the LLMs support. This is unbelievably empowering. Please repeat that answer in French. Le lieu de la conférence est situé au Pier 27, le long du Embarcadero à San Francisco. Please repeat that answer in Hindi. Conference venue Pier 27 के साथ-साथ Embarcadero में San Francisco में स्थित है. Okay, now please answer in English. The conference venue is located at Pier 27 along the Embarcadero in San Francisco. And by the way, don't you love that about LLMs? I said, no, please answer in English. It knew I meant now, please answer in English. This forgiving nature of interacting with AI is one of the things that I think really encourages people to use it. So, great. So I cannot overstate how important it is that we have enabled your SMEs to be available with their knowledge in multiple languages all around the world. Incredibly important for anybody dealing with multiple geographies, different constituencies that speak different languages. People want to interact in their own language. So that's super important. Now back to the reach out to the owner. You can see, first of all, there's a new panel that keeps track of all the questions that were forwarded out to the owners. Second of all, in line, you can see it says pending answer. And if I expand that, you'll see the full question that went there. And so that was sent out to the owner. And when that was sent out, what that means is an email was sent to the owner directly to ask the question. And they can answer directly via email. Or MyPersonas has an iOS and an Android app that's available. And so a notification appeared on their devices, on the owner's devices, to let them know they had an incoming question. Now, this is very asynchronous. The owner may be available right now and may answer while you're actually talking, which is amazing. It might be an hour later that it will that the person will answer, or it could be, who knows, when they get back from vacation early next week. But all of that is tracked by the system, and all of that is there. Let me show you what that looks like. Using Mac OS and iOS's latest features, I can actually share my iPhone. You can see it here. That's actually my live running iPhone that's sitting here next to me. If I click connect, it's going to connect to my iPhone 16 Pro, and it's going to take me into the MyPersonas app. So this is actually my live running iPhone here. And again, I'm going to log in with Google credentials, and it shows that I have an unread notification coming from this MyPersona, the CEO of IgniteTech and the AI conference expert. And if I click on that, you can see the question that I asked. Specifically, I'm looking for details on whether it will display speaker notes in presentation mode. And I'm going to answer that question now. Say, no, it will not. Show speaker notes. It will be mirroring the slides that are being presented. So I'm going to answer that on my iPhone and send that back. To the question, great, do you know if the confidence monitor will be showing speaker notes in presentation mode? The owner replied, no, it will not show speaker notes. It will be mirroring the slides that are being presented. Now, that's absolutely amazing. So several things happen. Number one, forwarded questions. You can see the answer now. It shows us answered in this panel. In line, you can see that it actually updated that and added the answer. And it's important to keep that in line because you might have a long conversation with a MyPersona, and you want to go back and look at that in context. So there it is there. But even more importantly, I want to come back to that Q&A section. If I just close this and go back to the management console and click on Manage Knowledge and click on Q&A, you see the question now in Q&A that the system put in here. If I click Edit, you'll see the question, you can see the answer, and here is where the owner could augment the information that's in here or correct something if they answered incorrectly. I mean, it's really incredible because what that now did is enrich the knowledge of that MyPersonas, and let me show you exactly what I mean by that. If I come back and I say, do you know if the confidence monitor will show speaker notes in presentation mode? When I ask that question, the confidence monitor will not show speaker notes in presentation mode. Instead, it will mirror the slides being presented. Now, that is where the patent pending technology really shines in MyPersonas. You can see we have enriched the knowledge. It did not have to reach back out to the owner. So the next time that question is asked, it can answer directly from its knowledge. And this is a cumulative process that really enriches the value of the interactions. The use cases are endless. We're always so excited when we hear so many ideas. It's so important, this idea of this knowledge being updated. And so over time, what happens is the knowledge base gets smarter and smarter, the pings go down further and further, and people can get back to doing real things with their lives.
So, thank you. Thank you.